Hello there. Welcome to Paranormal Experience. I am Kat Hobson, your host, and I am so glad that I get to do this because you know what? I love what I do. I have so many friends that I have made through the paranormal. Um, seriously, I have, since COVID, I really haven't been out that much as far as traveling. I got back into cons this year, started with the Battlefield Bash, and I'm looking for some more to get involved in and playing with. I love being media for them because that way I can promote what they're doing and the people that are going to be their guests. I think it's fun. I like getting their crowd numbers up. I like getting a chance to talk to the other investigators. And I am always thrilled with what I do. And that includes when I get to welcome my bestie, my travel buddy. I mean, the woman has put up with me through two countries now: United States, East and West, and North and South, and now Scotland, and next year, Ireland. So, without further ado, let's bring Lori in here. Hey, Lori.
Hey, how's it going?
It's great. How about you?
Oh, just peachy.
We both got our sun bliss today, so
Yes,
it's did the delivery get there okay?
yes. I got
Good.
everything set up for them and it's ready to install whenever they get it ready. So,
Coolio.
mm-hmm.
Well, I am I'm so glad that you're here because we really have. We've been to Winchester House, we've been to Savannah to the Sorrel Reed House, we have and other places. We have been north in Ohio and other points in between. We have been south in Gulf Shores and Pensacola, and we have done privates and publics in both of those places. And we got to traverse all of Scotland from Edinburgh up into the Highlands. We did not, however, go as far north as we wanted to yet.
True, true.
And, that's okay too.
Yeah.
So I am just really excited to be able to have you here tonight because, we're going to talk some more. I always put, we're para travelers, right?
Yes,
Because we are. And we get to do some of the most interesting things.
yes.
I was actually I popped my Roku up last night because I didn't really want to listen to anything else. So I went back to Ryan's Haunted Scotland,
Oh,
um, and I was just really, really excited to be able to see him working with Chris and with Gail and the rest of their crew. And I watched Bannockburn,
oh,
and
you
then
did.
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then I watched Menzies. Mingus.
Mangus.
Yes, I know, Scottish friends. Mingus. Not how you spell Mingus.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm going to honor them because they are my friends. And
Yes.
I did find Mingus Park here that I took a picture of the sign. I have it just for Greg that I'm
Ah.
going to take with me the next time we go to Scotland. And say, see, this is Mingus. So all of my friends, all of my Scots, y'all know I love you. So
Yes. Love them all.
everyone.
And I miss them.
And I miss them too. But
Yeah.
I did get to interview Greg. Excuse me, Greg Stewart, the Haunted Explorer, is going to be my pre recorded first Fate show of October because he's a haunted guy. He is. He is so much fun
Mm-hmm.
and a dear person. So, and he has put up with me for many moons. So,
Very knowledgeable.
he is so knowledgeable. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I always forget because, you don't perceive your friends as, you know, more than your friends,
Right,
really.
right.
And a lot of people are so surprised because I know a lot of like para celebrities, but just because of the nature of what I do. But, when you're hanging out in the lobby and everybody's got a beverage in their hand and goofing off and whatever, there's no no distinction there, right?
No.
So it's just one of those things that it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm I am
Always.
going I am seeing some things happening in the background, and I know Carl's all over that. So thank you, Carl. So, not to worry, I have unwrapped cough drops. So we're just about through with this crud, but
Yay.
and now that we got some rain that was real rain, then I'm hoping that we're going to be all better now.
Yeah, we're in drought.
We have been in drought, which
Mm-hmm.
is why I busted my capoozle on the stairs because it had been so long since it rained that when it did, it was pure moss and grime and stuff, and I just went,
Down you
but I
went.
stuck the landing. Oh my took us. So, you know, I always say that we're going to talk about other places, right?
Yeah.
But neither one of us seems to be very good at getting past Scotland because there just was so much to that that we didn't,
Yeah.
we still haven't even touched the cusp of what all we did. And
I know.
I just, I
We.
just don't
It
know.
was an amazing trip. Thank you, Rick.
Yes. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, Gary,
Yeah.
and
Gary, Lynn.
their whole family. Finn.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Right.
Alistair. Alistair was a
Alistair.
champ,
Yep.
and
Oh
you
yeah.
know that was that was one of the nicest families I've ever met anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love the
Gracious.
pictures. The mom guys in this family, they do reenactments of the Jacobite Wars, and she is in character battling right alongside the men as
Mm-hmm.
happened with Jacobites. So
Yes.
she is one tough mom, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But she's also, they own the history and horror
And
tours
for
of
tours.
Scotland.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So check them out. I mean, we were
Yes.
their
If you
guinea
go to
pigs.
Perth, that's a great tour. If you go up to Perth,
Yes. Well,
it's
you
it's
can,
amazing.
yes. And they're who took us to Mingus. They're who
Mm-hmm.
took us to,
Bannockburn.
they took us to Bannockburn. I'm trying to think of the Fairmaid House,
Mm-hmm.
Greyfriars, the Greyfriars Cemetery in Perth.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same as the Greyfriars in Edinburgh, which is astounding in its
Yeah.
home right.
Yeah.
But, you know, you've got to go. I'm telling you. And don't be afraid to travel there because the Scots kicked the Vikings out of their country. They are
Yes.
badasses. So you're
Yes. Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
And we have walked, granted, we had that great big monster of Rick McCullum and Mikey walking with us all the time, but you and I
Right.
have wandered Edinburgh by ourselves,
Oh yeah.
and it's so safe.
Oh yeah. I've never felt unsafe
Well, and
anytime.
I'm going to say that you're pretty naive most of the time. You would
Oblivious.
you would be taking pictures, and I'm a
Yes.
photographer. I do take pictures, but I also know what bad guys feel like. And so, yeah, and I've never felt threatened anywhere
Mm-mm.
in Scotland really.
Mm-mm. No.
And I did actually walk a lot in Perth by myself. So,
Mm-hmm.
St. Andrews, we've been everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Next time we're going north.
Farther.
And I'm actually fine with going south into the borders and on into England.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not locking out anything. So, we're going
Get
to
to
wait
see
and see
things.
what happens.
Mm-hmm.
My stepmother was like, "You're going in September?" I said, "Of next year,
Yeah.
September next year." And
Yes.
she was like, "Well, I said, "Yes, I do know." She was in Ireland wrapping up a tour on 9/11.
Oh.
Yes, she got to spend an extra couple of weeks in Ireland.
Wow.
And because, I mean, globally, the airports were down. It
Oh.
wasn't just U.S. airports.
Okay. Oh
But,
wow.
yeah, but nobody was flying into the U.S.,
No.
including my stepmom. So, But, can you imagine you're
No.
somewhere, your country's been attacked, and you can't leave?
Yeah, you have to
I
stay.
would not care for that.
Well,
So,
if in Edinburgh, I'd be okay.
well, I'd be okay too, but the fact that I know what my husband would be feeling like
Oh, yeah.
because she was not with my dad, she was with her girlfriends.
Ah,
So, yeah, he was a little ape.
I'm sure.
My Special Forces Green Beret sounds like Mr. Rogers' dad was ready to go, and you know,
Hmm. Rescue mission.
oh, not a problem. But I'm really excited that we're going to get to go to Ireland.
Oh, me too.
I mean, I'm curious about the weather. In September, it's not going to be August or July like
Right.
we've had in Scotland, and they're farther north, I think.
Oh, yeah, they
So,
are.
because we flew over them this time, and which was so cool.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
I think that everything that we experienced has kind of opened our minds a little bit to being more aware. And the
Oh,
good part is that the tour company we're going with is owned by May Hernan.
yeah.
And May was the partner in the company that went with before.
Hmm.
And she quit working with that individual because they were so shady.
Yeah.
And when we were at Stirling Castle and no one had ever heard of us,
Records.
there was nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody had ever heard of us. And so there we sat, and May is who I called because I was like, they're saying they don't know anything about us, and we're sitting here, and this person is saying that her assistant, which she doesn't have, ordered our tickets. And May was like, I'm sorry. What that's why I quit having anything to do with them. And,
Hmm.
you know, so, but May has been doing these Secret Ireland tours, oh my gosh, for
Wow.
so long, for
Yeah.
years
Well,
and
she lived.
years.
She was born and raised in Ireland, so she knows
And
it.
she's still there part time.
Yeah.
Although she did pass her citizen test. Go, May! We're
Yay.
so proud of you. And she is battling health issues and
Hmm.
has been for a long time.
Yeah.
And, I think that one of my favorite things about May is that you would never know that based on her personality and her strength of character and her everything,
Yeah.
you know.
Attitude.
And
Everything.
yeah, so I think it's funny because she has all kinds of tours. She's got health and wellness, happy tours. She's
Hmm.
got interesting tours, and then she has spooky tours.
Spooky.
And
Yep.
all my friends are hosting spooky tours.
Of course.
And we're going to be bringing you a lot of her tour talent, her featured guests for each one, but we're going to talk about primarily the one that we have already signed up for,
Hmm.
although everybody that she's has booked going. Vanessa Hogel has one coming up. Um, Dave Schrader.
Hmm.
She has
I think Chris Fleming.
Chris Fleming. Chris is actually having some health issues, so
Right.
if we can just keep him in our prayers. But
Yes.
his tour is scheduled for October um, 24th to November 2nd of
Hmm.
2024, and it's sold out.
Hmm.
So I hope that he feels up to being able to do that.
Yeah.
I would go with him in a heartbeat. I think
Oh,
that he is a very interesting man. He has some
hmm.
very interesting experiences,
Yes.
and some of them that I saw on Haunted Scotland were like, ooh,
Yeah.
that did not happen to me there. So, and I was good with that. But somebody that when we first started with the previous tours,
Hmm.
Courtney Meckenville was somebody that I was so excited to interview.
Hmm.
And it is, She loves, she and her husband had a destination wedding in Ireland.
Oh,
Okay. Full of carriages. I mean, the whole 9 yards in a castle.
oh,
And she is, they're doing Shadow Spiritual Rebels of Ireland tour. And that is going to be, um, right, is it? I think it's right before ours.
oh, okay.
September 9th to 17th of next year.
Okay, yeah, that's right after ours because ours that
Oh, we have lost Lori. There she comes. There you are. I lost you.
I know you went away.
No, I didn't go away. But I'm just giving you grief because you know what? At any given moment, we could just all go away. It is internet radio.
That's true.
So, but isn't it fun?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And
I'm talking to you. We're all good.
I know, right? It's good when, I mean, because we do. We investigate well together. We travel well together.
Mm-hmm.
We get on each other's nerves about the same. But it always happens at the same time, and we just kind of,
Yeah.
and I close my eyes.
Yep.
Okay, 15 minutes later, they're open, and I have done a redo. And it trips you out when I do that. So, but it works, right?
Yes, it does.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
But Patty Negri's doing a tour with these people.
Yeah.
And she is going to be, um, I don't see her dates, but that's who we were at Winchester House with.
Yes.
And
She's phenomenal.
she is so interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
She was
that
picking up
was,
a lot of things that I was picking up on my camera.
yeah. And it was fun to me because, I had been, well, Mark Foltz told me, the Daisy Room, there's a woman waiting on you in the Daisy Room. And I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
What is a Daisy Room? Because I don't research locations before I go,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
I
Right.
mean, I check the neighborhoods out just to make sure I don't need a gun. But other than that, um, yeah, I was so shocked because it was Mark Fultz who said that. Mark Fultz is one of the best psychics I've ever worked
Yes.
with or seen work.
Yeah. He's so gifted. It's insane.
Well, that's who told me
Okay. Okay.
because he was getting off. I was producing a show and he was getting off, and he was like, "Oh, when you're in San Jose, there's a lady waiting on you in the Daisy Room. I don't know what that is, but there is one, and she's waiting on you." And so when we just so y'all know, that was Mrs. Winchester's bedroom, original
Yeah.
bedroom in the turret at the
Yeah.
Winchester house. And we walked in there, and both of us were like, "It's Daisy." The stained glass was Daisy's. I mean, everything in that room was Daisy's. And we were
Yeah.
just like, "Oh my gosh." So I hit the stairs because I knew Patty was downstairs and I knew that she could get it better than I could, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
so I go flying down there. I'm like, "I need you to come with me. If you would please, I need you to come with me." And she's
I
like,
need. I need your
"Well,
help.
well, that's what I eventually got out." And, I'm not kidnapping you. I just need some help.
Yeah.
And she was so precious. And
Yeah.
she was like, "What do you need?" I said, "The Daisy Room." A, a friend
There's a
told me
message.
that there was a woman waiting on me in the Daisy Room. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know who she is. I just
Mm-hmm.
need you to see if there's a message for me. Yeah.
What's
It
the
goes,
message?
the message was, "I'm doing a good job and keep being the person I am." And I'm just like, that's not a
Okay.
message, you know. But
I
it
know. I
was.
I had a shocked look on my face when they said Daisy Room. I went,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Well, and it was just bizarre. But
Yeah.
Patty Negri is the real deal.
Oh
And
yeah.
everybody that I know, Vanessa Hogel and Bob Thompson and Michelle Roos, I think that she's going to be brilliant. And then Chris has another one scheduled for next year in June.
Mm.
So, and there's still only a few seats left in his.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, hopefully, he will be completely through with everything that's going to help him be better
Hmm.
and back to his fighting self and get out there and kick some his booty.
There you
But,
go.
you know, I'm just so excited to get to see what some of this stuff is going to be like because I envision it being very like Scotland, but I
Yeah.
don't think it really is. I
I think
think
the
that the energy is
similarities,
different.
but they're their own thing. They, you know, from what I understand, because I've got Scottish roots and I also have Irish roots.
I
My
have
grandmother.
Irish and I have
Hmm.
Irish, English, and Scottish.
Hmm.
I thought I had German, but turns out that was the English.
Ah,
It was
I,
spelled differently. Somebody had bastardized the spelling.
okay.
So,
So yeah, I'm curious to see, you know, especially if we get to go into graveyards, I'll be checking for names, the
you
McGinnis.
would never do that.
I'm always looking. You
I
know
know
that.
you are. I'm
I'm
giving you
always looking.
crap. So, what do you think? I mean, because we're going to be covering a lot of ground.
Oh yeah.
And we fly into Dublin, and then it is going to be, it's not going to be that fast like, the previous person tried to do.
Hmm.
But, we're going to start off with a couple of nights in Dublin.
Hmm.
And to me, that's going to be probably my favorite. We, um, we go to Belfast,
Hmm.
which I'm kind of interested in that because we're there for 2 nights.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
And
it's that giant cause. I can't remember. It was like what did they call it? I wrote it down. Giant's Causeway. Causeway.
mm, yes.
I mean, it's supposed to be pretty amazing. It's right on the water. It's like a volcanic
Hmm.
thing.
Volcanic mountains.
Yeah, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, I saw pictures, and I remember seeing Patty was up there, Patty Negri,
Hmm.
and she said this is the first time. This doesn't happen often, but I have no words. I can't explain how it's affected me. So
That is
I'm kind of
interesting because she does not run out of words.
I know I know.
So,
So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. And then I think they were having I've got written down the Bushmill Distillery
well,
and
that is definitely going to be a different
yeah,
kind of spirit.
and a well yeah, and haunted pub crawl. So I thought, oh, that'll be
Well,
fun.
that's going to be funny because our host doesn't drink at all.
No, he doesn't. No.
And he'll just kind of sit there and giggle
Yeah,
at the rest of us.
at the rest of us. Yeah. But yeah, I mean there's then the third day we're supposed to go to Hellfire's Club, which I'm excited about.
Well, that's where Rick got killed.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
all these people that die on me when I go places, right? What are y'all thinking?
I know.
So, but
But I think it's cool.
that is cool, and that's going to, because I'm going to have him on. He's going to be my last my Halloween show for
Uh,
October, and
yeah,
so we're going to get him to share that experience too. But he really and truly, he thought he was dead.
yeah, he
He
really
thought he
did.
was dead,
Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy,
and
crazy.
actually, he was sitting in a chair under a sheet inside, recuperating,
Yeah, people were taking pictures
and
of
people were taking his picture.
it.
They thought he was a spirit.
Yes, they
He
thought.
almost was. I'm glad he wasn't.
Yes.
So I'd much prefer him on this side of the veil, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Preferring more. Yes.
much as we give him crap, we like having him.
Yeah, we got to keep him around a little bit.
Yeah. So, something else, and I am excited for the Bushmills thing, except that,
Mm-hmm.
full disclosure, I was not always a sensible drinker. When I was young, I was not. I had a bad run in with Jack Daniels at one point, and somebody took me on a tour of Lynchburg, Tennessee,
Oh.
which is where the distillery is. And Jack
Mm-hmm.
Daniels has a very particular smell because of the corn mash. And that
Yes.
whole town
Smells like.
smelled like Jack Daniels. And I was sick the whole day. And I was like, I'll just go ahead. I'm fine. I'll just be
I'm
sitting here
good.
puking in my bag.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what the Bushmills is going to be like. So I may have to go down the street if that's the case. So,
Yeah. I have my, yeah, my whiskey, yeah, fetish that I can't. I no.
well, I
I
love whiskeys, but I
seven,
cannot
seven,
do that one.
seven sevens, Seagram sevens. I can't. I got so hammered on it. Just the thought of it or the smell of it, it just I start gagging. So
That must be why we like Jello shots.
yes, you can chew that.
And they're just as effective too,
Yes, they are.
if
They
not
can
more
be.
so because you don't realize it. But you know, something that I'm not familiar with is this Crumlin jail in Dublin.
Yeah, I
I've
saw that.
read of it. I've
Mm-hmm.
read of it in different historical spy novels and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there there is so much. Um, well, that's Belfast, I think. Yes, but it's going to be interesting with.
Well, you know me in jails.
I do know you in jails, but this is a different type of jail,
I know.
and it's had a different kind of history than what ours have.
Sure.
And one of the things that when I read that, I was just kind of like, she's going to like that because she's going to get activity. And then I started thinking, you're redhead, and, is it going to be what you got at Bannockburn? I
I hope
mean,
not. I hope I didn't kill somebody else.
but I mean, seriously, you
Yeah.
know, if
Yeah.
we have so many lifetimes,
That's true. That's true.
and I mean, you would never have, well, I don't know. If you were back in Scotland in that period, you probably did take somebody down. But you would. I mean,
Oh, I have no doubt.
I have no doubt because they were adamant. So I
Oh,
think it's just fascinating to anticipate what's going to happen in this place.
yeah.
You
It'll
know,
be interesting. It'll be interesting. You know, I always go in with an open mind, but guarded. You know.
I think it's going to be a good decision to have a little bit of protection up any place that we go here because
Oh yeah. You
there
have to.
are ancient Gaelic spirits throughout.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
if they
it's going to
recognize my energy, holy mackerel.
quit asking.
I
Quit
know.
asking.
Well.
Let them tell you. So, because we're going to go to a poorhouse as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I'm assuming it's not still one.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a museum now, isn't it? As
I hope so.
far you know, I think it's a museum.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's not necessarily, those facilities aren't still called that,
Right.
but they are still there,
Right.
and you kind of have a problem if you don't
Right.
have a way to take care of your populace that needs some help,
Right.
which, you know,
Yeah.
we have ghettos that people have so much trouble escaping from,
Mm-hmm.
and because it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be brave and you have to have a shot here or there to
Mm-hmm.
help you. And that's why I get I get on a kind of soapbox a little bit about that. But it's going to be interesting, I think, to experience what would have been
Mm-hmm.
the lives of those that were poor
Mm-hmm.
and abandoned.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's going to be a different. I think it's just going to be different than what
yes.
we've been in Scotland. Because
Well,
Scotland, I mean, good grief. Writers Museum, Bannockburn, Fair Maid's House. I mean, it was it ran the gamut, but we didn't do jails, did we?
we
No.
did. We did the Inverary jail.
Oh, that's right.
And she's gone again. She is going to have to put duct tape on her seat. So, I just tell people you're going to have to put duct tape on your seat from now on. So, but when we were at Inverary, that was some rough and rowdy stuff that you had happen.
Yeah, yeah, that was rather disconcerting and funny. You know,
Twice,
yeah.
2 times.
Hmm.
I did not really find it funny when you were telling me about that because what if they had shoved past you?
Well, that's true, but I had a hold of the both sides of the rail because the hallway coming down that area
Yes.
was small, so I was braced because I
Well, and
thought,
you heard them
hey,
coming.
he
Yeah.
was gonna fall right over top of me, and Rick was gonna take him out with one swing because he was at the bottom in battle mode, ready to hit somebody.
Yeah.
But he was
Nobody to
he
hit.
was there, and I kept going on down the stairs, and he stood there and kept looking behind me, and I said, I heard him, and I
Yeah.
was waiting for the dive over top of me, and nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, okay,
That was freaky.
yeah, that was weird. Definitely weird. Well, then Lee Dunn was at the same jail, and
Mm-hmm.
he drew a picture. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
About who he saw, who was running around there, and I said something to Lee. I said, I wonder if that's who was trying to intimidate me by running up behind me. And Lee said it probably was. So at least I got a face to what was coming up behind me.
Well, he's coming on with me in October.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really excited about that too. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to have that
Hmm.
conversation.
Oh yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
because he was so helpful when we were at Temple.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
And I had, I had finished what I was trying to do down by that creek and walked up to where everybody was doing the K2 sessions around the graves and stuff. And
Yeah.
we got through with that. And I'm like, would you come down here with me? I, I know I'm getting something,
Yeah.
but I don't trust me
Yeah.
with this. And I think it's
Right.
important.
Yeah.
Whatever this is, they're really trying.
Right.
And he was like, I'll come with you, but you can do this. And he actually helped me grow a whole lot.
Oh,
Just
okay.
just there, you know,
Hmm.
because I got Julie to come down with the K2 meter
Hmm.
just to validate that yeah, there's right here. Can
Yeah.
you just come right here? And it was just like because it was nice to have something besides me
Right.
there.
Right. Hmm.
And I didn't have a recorder. I did. I had my thermal imager, which does record,
Hmm.
but I was just
Well,
trying to.
what about what happened when you were using thermal imager up by the gravestone and you kept telling me to walk backwards and forwards?
Yes,
That was
that was the
bizarre.
strangest thing. I
I
mean,
was there and then I wasn't there and
you were
then I
there,
was
you
there.
weren't. You were there, you weren't. You were there, you
Yeah.
weren't. That's just how you are, Lori. Just fade in and out. But it was so bizarre.
Yeah. That
And
was odd.
well, what I thought was cool too was that's where Julie became one with her K2.
Oh, yeah.
And she learned that, yeah, this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a thing. Because there's no power there for like
Oh, yeah.
forever away from us.
Oh, yeah.
And, because we're at the original Knights Templar temple. That's why it's called temple. And this
Mm-hmm.
is ancient. It's
Ancient.
it is so it's one of those right to roam places, but you know what? If that falls on you, that is on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
I'm always careful when we're at those.
well,
But
yeah, yeah.
it was just like that was a lot that was happening there. And then I turned around, there was a dog, and I'm like, oh, come on. And then I saw the dog owner. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Because I do get dogs a lot.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
I'm just like, please don't be a bad dog. And it was, and it was a good boy.
yeah.
So,
But
but it
yeah, I
was,
mean, that place was amazing.
yes. But
Even
you
though it was
disappearing?
small, but it was amazing.
Well, there's not many places that you are going to just walk off the face of the earth
Right.
right in front of me. I see you, but you're gone. As far as any heat signature goes, nothing was there.
Mm-hmm.
And not going to lie, that tripped me out a little bit.
Yeah.
It
It
did.
tripped me out too because I'm thinking, what are
Why
you
is she
talking
making me
about?
do this? Why
What
is she
is
making
going on?
look? And I wasn't telling you
No.
because I couldn't figure out. And I mean, I turned away and checked
Mm-hmm.
other things and then came back and it was still happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first time I've ever lost a heat signature like that. And I still don't know why.
I don't know.
Neither does anybody else because I've
Well,
asked everybody.
yeah. Well, I mean,
It
it
was weird.
the energy was. I can't even describe the energy. It was it was old. I mean, it
It
felt like,
wasn't human. I don't
yeah,
think it was human.
and it was old, very old energy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, it was amazing, but you know, and it was cool. That was one of the cool places we got to go to. Writers Museum, yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm good with not going there again.
that's
I
true.
had I had skill sets show up that I did not ask for and was not interested in keeping. So
But we did, and Julie got a lot of K2.
she got tons of K2. And, it was so cool that she was getting all that activity because she was the least experienced of us.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a medical professional, a
Yeah.
damn good one, too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, I wasn't sure what her take was going to be on this, but I also know that given what she does, she sees miracles all the time.
Oh yeah.
She
Mm-hmm.
has to.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is something that I felt like she would be more open to it because of that.
Yeah.
And she turned out to be.
Yeah. She did great. I mean, she did really really at Balgoni.
Yep.
She was so good there with the
Yep.
K2. Well, we all had K2s,
I
and
did not. I just had a camera with a full
oh,
battery
that's
that kept
right.
turning off
It kept turning. It kept shutting
over and the
over.
battery would be still full when it would come back on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, come on, Laird. Let me get your
That
picture,
was pretty
buddy.
cool though. That was one of the coolest ones.
That was fun. And I didn't realize that it did it so many times. In Mikey's
Mm-hmm.
video, I think it was like 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm. Kept shutting
And
down. I
yeah.
remember it kept shutting off because you were sitting next to me, and I had the K2, and then Rick was on the other side of me, and
Hmm.
his K2 was going off. But I just remember I could hear your camera power down a lot,
Yeah.
a lot. I never counted it till,
The
you know,
video.
yeah,
Yeah.
the video showed it. But wow, that was crazy.
Well, and it was so frustrating because here I am, I've got a REM pod going off. In my mind, it looks like fireworks crawling up
Mm-hmm.
the
The
antenna.
antenna.
But
Mm-hmm.
in the video, it didn't do that.
No.
But when I'm sitting there beside it, that's what it looks like. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
when Mikey sent me the video, I'm like, no, that's not what it looked like sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really an interesting effect
Yes.
because
I
we've
agree
used
because
REM
I turned
pods for
around and looked at it. I turned around and looked at it when you looked at it. And when you said it looked like it was crawling up the antenna, I agreed with you because that's what
yes,
it looked like.
all the colors just going up.
Mm-hmm. Kept
And
going up, and everything was pegged.
we have used
Everything.
REM pods forever,
Yeah.
and I have never seen one like that. As
Mm-hmm.
Mikey said in the video, my REM pod don't do that, bro. So
And the
that was fun.
K2s were pegged, and it was it was something.
It was.
That was something.
It was
That was.
definitely one of those things that I don't care if I live to be 100,
Mm-hmm.
will always amaze me.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just
I,
have not had that level. And yeah, you had somebody that was sitting there going, and there she comes. Girl, I'm going to have to super glue you. That's all there is to it. So, but, you know, I was just going to say that when I saw that video and there were people there that had a code word that if it was the Laird he was supposed to say.
yeah.
And we didn't know that going in.
No, had no clue.
And I I'm unaware of there having been one said. So I
Yeah.
don't know. But I
Yeah.
don't think that the person that was in there with us gave a rat's butt what anyone but the man sitting beside us thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's who he was there for.
Yeah. He was Yeah. The Laird was focused on Rick. There's no
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
And it took Rick a minute. And we were all kind of looking at
And
each
he's
other
not even
like,
a natural blonde. In those movies he was dark headed.
true.
So, it was just an interesting experience. And
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the things, like, we're going to be going to what was that? The underground passage, the tomb that predates the pyramids.
Yeah.
That's going to be fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's going to be all kinds of old energy in that. But
Mm-hmm.
um, the crypts in Dublin,
Oh yeah.
that, because when we were in the underground vaults in Edinburgh,
Yeah.
I did not really think there was that much happening there.
Right.
And certainly after Mikey crowned himself down there, I was more focused on
Yeah.
physical well being
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to paranormal being.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there was definitely energy there,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that it was focused on, well, certainly it wasn't focused on you and I. It
No.
was just kind of there.
Yeah.
And
And the other thing was, what was it? Mary's King's clothes.
Mary
Mary's
King's Close.
clothes. That had energy. I mean, I could feel that.
Yeah,
Like every place we went around, I felt like we were being watched.
we were being watched
Hmm. Definitely.
because that room, and I know that they tried to set up a historical perspective.
Right.
Okay. I thought that the mannequins with the smallpox boils on them
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
and things
Hmm.
like that, I felt like that was more trauma
Yeah,
for the mothers that would have been caring for those
for the
children.
kids. Hmm. Yeah,
And so maybe that's why there's still something like that.
yeah. And then
Um,
they had that doctor with the mask and everything. That was
yeah,
creepy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, Zach Bagans loves those masks. I don't like them. I don't like them at all.
I don't
But
either.
but when they went to that island in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
the plague island, I was like,
Yeah.
I would not put that on my face, dude, because
No.
I don't care how sanitized you think that is. That is a germ that we don't have anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So no.
No.
So
Would be no.
it's just one of those things that you sit back and you look at it and it's like, I get ratings. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that he has a love affair with the paranormal. I
Mm-hmm.
get that too. And I
Mm-hmm.
am not I don't I don't bash anybody because I've been with people that were provocateurs. Okay?
Right.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I
Neither do
have I have done limited very low level pushing.
I. Right.
Um, if I felt like something was there and just not sure what they thought,
Right.
then I have pushed
Right.
gently. I've never just said, you will blah, 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 because,
Yeah.
not my
Demand,
job.
demand. Mm-hmm.
I am not in charge of this scene. The
Mm-hmm.
one that can hit me and not have me know it's coming, that's
Mm-hmm.
who's in charge of that.
Mm-hmm.
And, but we will have a conversation. There's no
Yeah.
reason not to have a conversation.
That's right.
And,
Very.
you know, I get a little bit more wild sometimes than you do. We kind of trade that out pretty much,
Yeah.
but it's just depending on the scenario,
I know. I always say please and thank you all the time.
mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Please
all
and
the
thank
time.
you. No.
Yeah, you don't.
No. Sometimes.
It depends.
It depends.
Well, when it's always easier to get my southerns coming out, flies with honey, than it is with vinegar.
True. That's
But
true.
vinegar is why barbecue tastes so good. So you have a balance, right?
That's true.
So it's in all my barbecue sauces,
Mm-hmm.
some more
That's
than
true.
others, but
Mm-hmm.
you also have to know your room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would I provoke a Mary King's close? Not for any money. I
No.
would never go in
Never.
there and be
Nope.
that person.
Nope.
Would I do
You
it in a
know, I
castle?
don't. Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe certain castle, maybe just to see if I get a response. But most of the time, I'm usually very. I just watch and
Mm-hmm.
listen and try to read the room. You
Yes.
know, there's some people that can read a room. I mean, they can see things. I'm not. I don't have that much of a gift, but I'm developing enough. Now, when I walk into a room, I can immediately tell if something's there.
Yes.
Don't know what it is, don't know, but I can tell if it's good or bad, or if it's aggravated, or you know. But I've slowly developed that scenario because I had to. Because
Oh
there's some
yeah.
places you walk into. Oh, yeah, you have to. You have to open yourself up, but not too much to read the
Well,
room.
there's some spirits that if you give an inch, they're going to take it all.
Mm-hmm.
And you've gotten really good at recognizing that too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so, you know, a case in point, when we were at Old South Pittsburgh and it was just us,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
okay? And we were upstairs and that balloon kept going to the fan. Do you
Oh
remember
yeah.
that? That
Yes.
was the weirdest thing
That
ever.
was that was
That is
strange.
still that is still the one thing that I've got nothing. I got
Yeah.
nothing. There's no
Wow.
way that could have been staged.
No.
No way, because you had a
No.
balloon that was really a balloon. I mean, we touched it, we checked it out,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a balloon that was going against the fan
Mm-hmm.
to go to the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to fool with that camera, remember, because
Mm-hmm.
it would go to the fan and shoot down and come, you know, by the side, because we had the coffee table between us, and it would shoot down
Yes.
through there.
Mm-hmm.
And you had already seen it once or twice.
Oh yeah, because I was
And I'm
trying to
fooling
figure
with
that.
one of those damn cameras. And so there, well,
I know,
so, so I'm just,
and it just
and you're
kept
just sitting
repeating.
there waiting. And so it
Yeah,
comes
I knew
back
you'd catch
again.
on. I knew you would catch on, but I was
Yeah.
just
You just
trying
went
to.
still.
Yeah.
And
Just,
so I'm sitting there looking, and I saw it go behind your little love seat.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that just went to the fan. And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
and then it stayed up against the fan, and then it
Mm-hmm.
shut off.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And it repeated,
whoa.
and and it
And
repeated, and it repeated, and
over
it
and
was
over. I mean, we
over.
wore out before it did.
Yeah.
That
And
was, I am going to, first of all, I'm going to give Ronnie D props
oh
for
yeah.
going in there and buying that hospital and putting together the team that he did of the most wonderful volunteers
Mm-hmm.
anybody's ever had,
Mm-hmm.
and going in and getting all that mold and all that mildew and all that nasty and making it a safe research environment.
Yes.
And Ronnie D, you're probably traveling somewhere and not watching this. You'll hear it. And just so you know, kudos to you because you
Mm-hmm.
saved one of the best research facilities for the
Mm.
paranormal activity in this world
Oh yeah.
from ruin. They were pulling it down. It was being
Mm-hmm.
sold at auction. Nobody was going to be allowed to do anything with it. And how he got it is just a blessing. And
Oh
now he
yeah.
has Harriman Hospital that he went and did the same thing with, also in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are anywhere near Tennessee, I'm going to tell you that both of those locations are astounding and they
Oh
are consistent. It's a good research spot.
yes.
Old Paulding Jail,
Mm-hmm.
um, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. If I were there, I would say the Winchester House if you could get in there enough to do it
Yeah.
because it was consistent too.
Oh yeah.
But um, those are the most consistently, yes. Now, bear in mind, I haven't been up to Madison Infirmary yet either,
Right.
but I understand that there's a really great program through that too. But as far as being someplace that you can duplicate environments and have consistent activity
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much have a feel for who you're talking to,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Old Potting
Oh
Jail is the
Mansfield,
best
woman
for
for it.
that.
Yeah,
Mansfield is
Mans.
good too,
Yeah.
but it's not quite as consistent to me as Old South Pittsburgh is. But that's closer to me, so I've been there more.
Right.
Old Potting Jail is one of the best places to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you
Yeah.
just wrapped up the 9/11 investigation series
Oh yes. 4 years.
there.
Mm-hmm. Last year we did it, and it was wow. You know,
Yeah.
Shelley got some incredible audio. The research to where the train station was, we were she was looking and looking, and we found there wasn't an address, but they gave the longitude and latitude of the location, and we put it in Google Map, and it pinpointed right where it was at, and it was right where the ticket that she found,
Hmm.
the name of the town was
Yeah.
on the ticket, and that's where the the old train station. We're talking late 1800s, you know, that had been torn down for years, and yeah, I mean, it was it was it was incredible. And I know she's trying to pinch out the audio that we caught through the portal box. We took the portal box out to the site, and yeah, they they were chatting to us.
Well, they always do.
Yeah.
And, that's one of the reasons that was what happened to me there so far is my most extreme experience.
Mm-hmm.
It it was the one time that I thought I might be in trouble. I really did.
Right.
And, I trusted their relationship with Shelley to protect me more than anything I could possibly do.
Right.
Okay. Seriously.
Right.
And, but it is a damn fine place to go and get verifiable activity because it is consistent.
Oh yeah.
And the spirits who are there are consistent and they will interact with you.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
And I would be polite. I'm
Oh
just going to
yes.
tell you, you don't want to go in there being an ass
Yeah. Don't
because
ram
they
right
can be
way
too.
through. Yes, they can.
But,
That's
but by
but
the
it.
same token, they knew I was staying
Yeah.
and they didn't mess with me. So until I left. And
Yeah.
then my Sirius skipped. That's the strangest. That's still, that's still, that Sirius skipping is that's my grail, okay? Because that does not happen.
Hmm.
And there were such Marty Britches
Oh yeah. They
ghost
still
in this
can be.
house.
We
Really?
had, like I said, we've got another rabbit hole we're going to have to go down.
Yes.
We got um, something on camera and two things on camera, really. And we kept, well, we had the portal running the whole time and we got names.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just looked at Shelly. I said, I think they're letting us know that we're done with the research on the 4 year research on the
Yes.
9, 10, 11, and 12. It's done. But I said, I think they've thrown something else.
Something else to play with. They gave
It's,
you a new goal.
yeah, trying to
They are
figure out.
considerate.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, definitely. And new names and, come through and we were writing them down. And yeah, I just looked at her and said, well, I guess here's another rabbit hole because
What would
there
we
it
do
is on
without them?
camera.
What would we do without our rabbit holes, though?
Oh, I know.
Seriously?
Yeah. And then
It's what
the,
makes this stuff an addiction, really.
mhm. Well, then, my experimental brain comes into play. And then I was downstairs and she was upstairs on camera and trying different filters on the flashlight. And it was like, it was crazy. The stuff that she saw on camera when
Hmm.
I would do it different lights, it was crazy. It
Well,
was,
it is about spectrums.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, yeah.
why do you think that? Well, a lot of people carry red lights just because of the night not affecting your night vision,
Right.
but but the different color filters
Hmm.
create a different spectrum,
Yeah. The
and
blue was, I mean, it was like a black light and it
mhm,
was just, it was crazy. But the green was completely washed everything out and the white did too.
mhm,
But the red and the blue were, I mean, it just, the figures just, they were totally different. I mean, they were same shape, but they were totally different looking on
right,
camera. I couldn't see them.
right.
I couldn't see them, but Shelly could see them up on the camera upstairs, and she was, saying, "Do this," yelling down,
Yeah.
"Turn around, sit down." So yeah, it was. I was up and down those stairs quite a bit between everything else, because this was going on during 9/11. Well,
Yeah.
there's nobody there, but there was downstairs. And that's when we had another rabbit hole we're going to have to go
Yeah.
down. It's, oh my goodness. You just never know what's going to happen when we're there. But I sleep great there. It's
I
amazing how
sleep
well,
great there.
yeah. I mean, I'm out and, like I tell them, don't bother me, don't wake me up. And I always have my mask on, my earplugs in, and
She sleeps like a zombie,
yeah, I
just so
do.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, I do.
although I did order those um that eye
Oh, did
mask.
you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Those masks. Well, the masks that I've got that I took to Scotland, and then
Hmm.
when I was at Shelley's, they're just ideal.
Yeah.
I mean, it completely blocks out all the light because it has like a
And
ray,
not your eyes.
and they don't bother your eyes because it's puffed. There's like it's cut out.
Hmm.
But I told Shelley, she was in her room. I said, you can come through and use the restroom because the restroom's right there. I said, don't go downstairs. That's silly. I'll never know if you come into the room or not.
That's
So
true because she sleeps like the dead.
yes, when I'm tired, yes.
And she looks like the dead when she's
Hmm.
asleep.
I do.
As opposed to me that just has my feet up dying over there on the side.
That's true. Straight up
Which
in the
freaks her
air.
out too.
Yeah,
So
because I mean they were straight up the wall. It's like, and she was snoring.
I had walked a lot of miles that day. And with a
Well,
lot more to come.
we did. I mean, we probably did what 8 miles that day.
We did. And
I
that
think
wasn't
so.
our long day.
No, I mean, holy moly. But the
My feet were
train,
tired.
I still like the trains. Those were
I like
fun.
the trains.
Those were fun.
Until
We
people won't
always
let
had
me
food.
off.
We always had food.
That's true.
We always kept food. Passed it around. Made sure everybody was
We were
fed.
on a sugar rush the whole time. Peanut butter M&Ms.
Peanut
Yeah.
butter M&Ms and what
Cookies.
what was those
Reese
Re-
bars.
Reese bars? Yeah, yeah.
That they
Rick
don't
had
have down here yet.
no.
Rick
Rick
says
had
they're in
cash
California
in
in
his
Walmart.
pocket.
Yeah. And just so y'all know, they're bars of
Yeah,
Reese's instead of the cups.
yeah.
And they are like the heavens opened up is
Yes,
exactly what they are. They're
they
so
taste.
good.
Yeah, they
Not the
taste.
ones with the wafers. Those are
No,
eh.
no.
But the
These were
others are good.
actual
That's
bars.
probably going to
Like,
be the clip that this thing saves, right? Me with my tongue out. Eh. But it is interesting to me because we're going someplace that predates the pyramids.
I know.
Can you believe that?
I know. We're talking ancient.
Ancient. And
Mm-hmm.
that I want to know more about that
Mm-hmm.
because how is something in Ireland, which is very far away from what's considered the breadbasket of the world, right? Um, you know, how is that there?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know you've got Stonehenge, you've got the you know
That predates
clavicairns,
Stonehenge.
and
That predates all of it.
all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the clavicairns were to me so primitive and so ancient, and they
Oh,
had so many energy circles of trees surrounding those cairns, which
oh
were
yeah.
in themselves energy circles because that's where the bodies were. And
Mm-hmm.
then you've got more and more rock circles
Mm-hmm.
in between. I mean, it went on and on well beyond the fencing where we were.
Oh yeah. It
And
kept going. Oh, I saw it.
I mean, it was astounding, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You were tripping.
Oh yeah.
I was tripping. I did
Mm-hmm.
not have the sense, and I didn't watch the show enough to know that I was supposed to be going
Yeah.
on the
Well,
stone. You did a
that's what
great job at that.
everybody kept telling me. Act like you're getting sucked in. I said, what?
Nobody told me that.
I told me that when I was going. Okay. I told my kids watch it. My
Yeah.
kids watch it. Christy goes and Derek both said, "You've been to Scotland twice, and you've never watched Outlander. How is that
I
possible?" I
watched the
said,
first couple of episodes.
"Did you? I
Hmm.
haven't even done that." I
And then Amazon kept wanting more and more money, and I'm like, no, I bought the series. No, I bought the season.
uh
So, but I was
okay.
still having to pay per episode, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Wow. Okay.
I am, I set up my Roku and my other stuff that hopefully I'll be able to find it. But Amazon wanted a bunch of money for that. And I'm
Wow.
like, I'm a Prime member.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
paying
I
you
don't
this
blame you.
much money. I will get it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I did. But
Yeah. I've never, like I
yes,
said, I've never watched it. I've never seen one episode.
the
Everybody,
first one freaked me out because you know I don't like blood and gore.
I know.
And it
Hmm.
starts out with blood and gore.
Yeah. That's what
And,
everybody
but she
keeps
was a
saying.
nurse.
Yeah. She was a nurse.
So,
And that's what I think Julie was became interested in it because
yes,
of her being was it Claire? Claire was a nurse or something.
yes.
And that's I think that's
Oh,
what
please.
attracted.
It was Jamie Stewart.
Well, Frasier. Frasier.
Frasier. Frasier.
Frasier.
Not a Stewart.
No, wasn't a Stewart, it was Frasier because
But
that stone in battlefield? Culloden Battlefield.
Culloden.
It was surrounded because
Yes.
people were taking pictures of the Frasier stone because of Outlander. So it was
Well,
pretty cool.
everything was pretty cool. Culloden was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not going back there either.
Yeah.
That was painful.
Yes. For you, yes. I walked the whole
What was
back.
up with that? That
I
doesn't happen.
well, the
It
thing of
happened
it
twice.
was is you got shot, and I had, for some reason, it was like I had to stay right there, stop right there. And you got shot, and I stopped. And there
Yep.
was a stone. I can't remember the name of whose
Well,
name was
mine
on
was McGillivray or something like that.
McGilvery, I think.
McGillivray.
Yeah.
The one that had the
And
yellow paint on it.
yeah. And it was like I couldn't move. I had to stay right there. I had to stop, and you got shot. It was like, what is
Yeah.
happening?
It was I mean, it wouldn't dissipate either. I had to leave the battlefield for
Yeah.
that to and it
Hmm.
still hurt, you know. It
Well,
hurt
when
for
you
for a couple
left,
of days.
when
It
you
sometimes
left,
still does.
I could move,
Yeah.
and that's when I went with I think it was Liam
Hmm.
and Mikey and Julie, and we walked that whole battlefield. The
Which was what I
energy,
wanted to do. I was so upset that I got shot.
yeah.
I mean, you know,
But
I
you
was upset that I got shot, but I was upset that
you couldn't
it
walk
wouldn't
the field.
dissipate.
Hmm.
I mean, it would not stop. I mean, and it was in my
Painful.
abdomen,
Hmm. And you
which
could
was
feel the
actually
energy swirls,
yeah,
different spots. You
yeah.
could just feel it. Like it just goes around you, and you keep walking, and then it'll come around again. And it was,
Seeing who you
how,
were.
it was like the hair on your arms would stand up. It was
Yeah.
like, you know, so that happened all the way through the battlefield. We walked that whole area through there.
Well, it's full of vortex.
Yeah.
I mean, or vortices. It's
Yeah.
just really a very odd place, and than it's very different than Gettysburg,
Mm,
which doesn't make sense. It should be the same
yeah.
to me.
I've been to Gettysburg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does not feel the same at all,
Mm.
and I don't know. I don't know what it is that makes that different. What do you think it could possibly be?
Well, if you remember the Battle of Culloden,
Mm-hmm.
which was extremely one-sided,
You think
yeah,
it
I
was completely
completely one-sided, and Gettysburg was not.
no?
It was full on both sides right at each other. So I think that created a different energy than Culloden. Culloden was ridiculous. What
It was
happened?
ridiculous, and it wasn't even a Scot leading them.
Yeah,
They were being led by an Irishman.
yeah. So that to me changed the whole dynamic of the battle.
Yeah.
And it only lasted what, an hour? hour and a
if
half,
that. I
2
mean,
hours.
because it was
So one sided. It
500
was
English
insane.
died and 1,500 Jacobites died.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
was, and they didn't have weaponry.
yeah,
They were up against guns and were told to charge.
yeah,
That really pisses me off every time I
yeah.
talk about that.
Oh, I know.
And I'm like,
I
I
try not
don't.
to. I try not to get it, but it's like it was. It was. It was so unnecessary. I
It was
mean,
unnecessary. It was ill advised. It was
yeah,
ridiculous.
it was. Yeah, definitely. But the other thing that I noticed about, well, I mean, the Culloden was very sacred. People were very,
Protective.
very protective and very honoring. I mean, they're just very, there was a lot of families there that their family name, they found their family name. So there was a lot of reverence there that, you know, yeah, it was, you know, like I said, I'm always looking for the Patterson name, always. And that's when Liam said he had found that there were two Pattersons that had died at the Battle of Culloden.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they were probably Jacobite. You know, I don't think they would have been English with the Patterson name.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, it was something.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's, I always, I always get uncomfortable when I talk about that
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like I wasn't strong enough to face what they were showing me.
Mm.
And I really tried. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
I really tried. But in real life, I've only hurt that bad once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a horrible, horrible pain.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, it was scary
it was
because I
very
saw the
scary.
look on your face.
Yeah.
I
It was
thought,
just
oh
like,
no.
whoa, this something has just happened. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm in a foreign country. My pancreas is going bad. My liver is something in there is not working properly. But
Well,
we
it
hadn't
was
had
the same thing
anything
that happened to Writers Museum.
that
That
was
look on
freaky.
your face, I thought, oh no, what is wrong?
Yeah,
Because I could tell something was wrong.
it was.
So, yeah.
Okay, for those listening, I am not a physical empath as a rule. I'm an emotional empath. I am a precognizant empath. I do have abilities, but when we were at the most beautiful little museum hidden away in Edinburgh, it's
Mm-hmm.
called the Writers Museum,
Yep.
and it was gorgeous.
Oh, it's
And
beautiful.
I had my very first empathic, really bad injury in
Wham.
that Writers Museum, and I did not know what was happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm feeling the back of my head, thinking that, yeah, I'm looking at my hand, like there's no blood. What
Yeah.
just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And then you saw me,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I wasn't really freaking out. I'm just puzzled because
What's wrong?
what is wrong? What just
What's
happened?
what's the matter?
And it was apparently when I'm in Scotland, I'm much more open, I guess. But, or their spirits had something to say because this wasn't a place people really get to investigate.
True. That's very true. I think
And
we were the first that ever
yeah,
got to actual
a
investigation.
real investigation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with equipment and everything.
yeah. But, it turned out, I mean, it was bad to the point that I had to ask, has
Hmm.
anyone here died of a head injury?
Yeah.
because something is happening here. And it's not,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't have any blood. I don't have a physical manifestation of an injury, but I'm having the experience of one.
Mm-hmm.
And which is the reason my show is called Paranormal Experienced, because they will let us experience their lives
Oh yeah.
when when they are so inclined, and it is a gift when they choose to do that,
Mm-hmm.
even if it hurts.
Yes.
But because that's not something that I've made a habit of experiencing,
Mm-hmm.
I was very taken aback.
Mm-hmm.
And when they started explaining it, that yes, there was someone who had that problem. They had fallen outside. The owner of the home brought them in, paid for their care,
Mm-hmm.
all the things that nice people do for
Mm-hmm.
people that are on the road away from home and get hurt. Um, you know, it was,
It was
they were sharing and the
what had
person's
happened.
stuff was in the room behind me,
Mm-hmm.
not the room we were in,
Mm-hmm.
but I had walked past because I looked in that case.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it was like, oh, she'll do nicely.
Yes, this will
No,
work.
no, 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 don't do that again.
Yeah.
But it was. And then when we got downstairs and we were having activity down there,
Mm-hmm.
with the electronics, it was almost like this had happened some more.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like,
Yeah.
I
And
really thought that we might be getting information relevant to that,
mm-hmm.
but it was pretty snarky down there.
Well, well, J.
So,
Craig Miller, I mean, who got us in there? I mean, he said, he can't help us. So the other people that were there were explaining what was going on,
mm-hmm,
what had happened. And it made sense, especially the stuff downstairs, when we were
yeah,
getting um, stuff coming through the box and, the necrophonic and, you know, any place you go in Scotland, I don't care where you're at. If you set up your equipment, you're going to get something.
you
Because
are.
that whole, it's all has history. Every corner, every niche, every inch of Scotland has some kind of history attached. Is centuries and centuries and centuries of things. It's really, there's no places you can go that you probably, if you set your equipment up, you'd get something.
Well, I
Seriously.
definitely agree, especially along the Royal Mile,
Oh yeah.
because places like Banshee Labyrinth, it's a nightclub.
Mm-hmm.
It's a freaking nightclub. You're out there partying and drinking with
Mm-hmm.
real spirits. And I don't think I would you know, put myself in a susceptible position
Mm-hmm.
with some of the spirits that I felt in there.
Mm-hmm. And they
And
were showing Jaws.
they were showing Jaws, and it was the part where she's going, ah, you know. I love that scene. That girl did a good job with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the effects people did a good job with that too.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was and I'm a beach girl and I still love that movie. What is interesting to me is that you were talking about every place in Scotland being haunted. I think that what creates that is the acceptance and the embracing of that of the Scottish people.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when we were in um, Inverness, there was a church with the purple doors. The purple doors are indicative of witches live here.
Right.
And I didn't know that. I asked a witch.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, you know, this stuff is fully embraced
Oh yeah.
from every side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know that there were people who were disgruntled. Hate when my gruntle gets dissed, but about Elizabeth's first funeral event being
Mm,
in Scotland
mm-hmm.
because she loved Scotland so.
Oh yeah.
And I heard somebody snarking and said, "Oh, our Scottish queen is on her way back to England now." And I'm like, "You're right. She was the Scottish queen. She's the English queen. She is the queen of the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
She is the queen of all of her people.
Yeah.
And she died in Scotland."
Mm-hmm.
So, were they going to take her away and bring her back and take her away and bring her back? No.
No.
That's the pot.
Mm-hmm.
There is Tom McNicholas, who said lots of people think he's Scottish because of his, I'm sure because of his last name and his little cute face. So, hey, Tom. But, I am just, and I do, I think that all of that stuff is there is because their society embraces that.
Yes, they do.
Just like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, everybody that is that age
Mm-hmm.
dresses like their cast of Harry Potter. So
Well,
it's
we go
just really,
down. You go down through the grass market. Well, I mean, really, Harry Potter. You can see it everywhere.
yeah.
Seriously,
Well,
when
because it
you
is
walk.
everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Waverly Station with all the
Yes.
glass.
Yeah.
It looks like the greenhouse that they had at Harry Potter because it was all glass. And if you
Well,
look,
so did the stuff outside of Bannockburn.
oh yeah,
I mean,
I
their
mean,
their area looked like it should have been in Harry Potter.
oh yeah, I
That
mean
dove
it's
coat that was half gone, and the sundials and all of the
yeah,
cool stuff.
mm-hmm,
Bannockburn to be as active psychically as it
yeah,
is
mm-hmm,
spiritually active
mm-hmm.
is very beautiful.
Oh, it's
And
it's
in a
amazing.
rundown, it's been here for multiple centuries, probably millennia from the look of it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's a spectacular.
Oh,
The
I'm so
grounds are
glad I
spectacular.
got to go. I'm so
Yes.
happy. The first
After
time,
being
yeah,
promised it and not delivered when we
and
were there previously.
yeah, it was like I said, we were very, very lucky
We
because
were.
Outlander does film there a lot,
And they
and
just happened to not be.
not be that, you know, it
Because
was
we
like,
didn't know until we knew. I mean,
yeah,
we did not think we were going to get in
mm-hmm,
because of the shooting schedule.
mm-hmm, and they
And
squeezed us in, and it was wonderful. I
it
was
was
so thankful.
wonderful. Oh my gosh. The video that you sent me from when we were in the kitchen looking down that hallway,
Mm-hmm,
that was great.
mm-hmm,
I
yeah,
thought that everything there was great. That was probably, I don't know if this is true, one of my top three locations I've ever investigated.
mm-hmm.
Mainly because I found out you're really a murderer. But other than that, you're pretty nice.
Well, you had pretty good command of the rods.
I'm good with rods. My rods just came in too.
Yeah, that's what you
I
said.
just in time they were out in the full moon last night. So I'm gonna let them be out there for the
Yeah,
eclipse
so you got
tonight.
them charged up.
Yeah.
Cool. That'll be fun. Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
just
you,
like Claire's.
okay. Well, and it was interesting after you told me what happened when you talked to Greg about your hands burning.
Hmm.
That
Wasn't
was,
that weird? Wasn't that the weirdest thing? For those that don't know, we were at this wonderful ruin and it was Rake Castle. And our friend Lindsay Dunn was using the
dowsing rods.
dowsing rods
Hmm.
that belonged, I think, to Claire. But
Yeah.
anyway, she was using the dowsing rods, and I was just moved to ask if I could have a turn when she was done, and she handed them to me. And there's a lot of imagery of me standing in the
Courtyard.
courtyard of this castle.
Ruins.
They were ruins,
Hmm.
and so I'm just, and I'm getting reactions. I'm getting good communication.
Hmm.
And when I was through and I went to hand them back to Lindsay, I think I gave them to Barry. But anyway, when I was through, I had a burn on my hand. right here. And I was
Mhm.
like, ow,
Mhm.
that's a burn.
Mhm.
And so I didn't think much about it. While I was interviewing, in fact, Greg Stewart is going to be my kickoff October show here.
Mhm.
Um, he's actually going to be on Fate on Sunday, the first Sunday in October. Um, it was so wild because I was like, yeah, and I had to order my own because Claire's, those actually burned my hand. And he was like, really? I said, yeah, we were at Rate Hassel and I was doing this, that, and the other. And he was like, and your hand was injured? I was like, well, just burned right here.
Mhm.
And he's like, well, you know that's where the young woman lost her hands. The fact that it was your hand that was damaged is interesting to me. And I'm like, I forgot about that story. And when a young woman was dangling from a window trying to escape from a situation, and they just cut her hands off and let her
They
drop.
severed her hands, yeah, and let her drop.
And
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten that being part of the experience there because we were 200 miles an hour going through everywhere and doing good investigations. We had time to investigate, but we hit, I don't even know how many locations in total
Uh, it
because
was
some of them were
it was a blur.
like Rate was a drive by while we were up in the Highlands. We had
Yeah.
been to Loch Ness. We had been to,
Mhm.
oh, mine don't fail me now. We've been to a lot of places.
I mean, we went to that one. I don't even remember the name of the village. What was it? The village?
Dunkirk? No, it's
Me-
not Dunk. It's
No.
um, with the bridge and the energy circles and the chapel. Yeah, Dunkeld. It was
Yeah.
Dunkeld
Yeah.
because I have a
That was
sign. I have a picture of the sign.
yeah. And the other place was it? Who took us there? Was it Liam or was it Gary? It looked like a fishing village, and we pulled. You know.
Was that the one? Um, I don't have my phone in here, but um, was it the one with the blue and the multiple color buildings and stuff?
Hmm.
That place. That's my screensaver on my phone
Okay.
because that was the most beautiful place I've ever seen. That was a real place.
Hmm. And we got out and we got to walk around, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's like a
And
picture.
yes, it looked like some, not as much as Mingus was. Mingus looked like he'd
Right.
stepped out into a
Oh, painting.
beautiful painting, a
Oh yeah.
Rembrandt.
Hmm.
But
I got some good pictures there.
me too. The richness of that landscape was astounding.
Oh yeah.
It was just, that's what
But
Mikey said. He got out of the car and he's like, "Oh my God, I've just stepped into a painting." I was like,
yeah,
"I know."
it was yeah, it was something.
And we came out of that ancient forest with those great big huge pines, and the
Oh
needles
my
were this
gosh.
long. The pine needles were this
Yeah,
long.
they were
Seriously.
huge,
It was gorgeous.
huge. And I was had such a headache before I went in there.
Yeah.
And when I got in there, I don't know the energy, I don't know, but it took all my pain away. It was amazing. Then we went down to that little well, they call it. Well,
Yeah.
I thought it was a little creek, but they called it a well, and left those
The
coins, and then we
yeah.
tied, you
That
know,
was my favorite.
yeah, that
And
was
that was actually because when we were there before and went to Danino's Den, everybody was like, "Oh, those are curse heads. Those are." It's like, no, those are not. Those are prayers.
mm-hmm,
Those are prayers for something to happen,
mm-hmm,
and they tie them to the plants. And
mm-hmm, to the ground.
because, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was
Yeah,
when we were there the first time.
yeah,
This
it
time
was.
we went to a different place of that nature,
Mm-hmm,
and I tied both of ours. I
mm-hmm.
used the same fabric for both of ours, and I tied both of ours.
Yeah, and then I got to put a coin into the what they call the well
Yeah.
there, and the only thing I that lady that came up there, she was hiking, was drinking out of it. I don't think I would have drank out of that.
I probably would because it was pretty well filtered coming down through the rocks. If it were
Um,
stagnant, I wouldn't touch it.
right. Yeah,
Moving
I,
water, I will do that. But
yeah, yeah. But it
especially
was
in the
cool.
Scottish Highlands, you know that's clean.
Oh yeah, but it was just it's it was ancient. They're talking about the Druids.
We are
I
talking about.
mean,
Some of the people we were with were Druids.
that's true. That's true.
So,
And it was just off the chain. I mean, when I think back, because I mean we were on nonstop.
yeah.
If we weren't, um,
In the back seat of a car.
I think of
Guys,
a
we were
car
hitting locations like toll booths. I mean, we were just like,
going, going, going.
and
If
we
we
had the
weren't in a
best
car,
people.
we were on a train,
Love the
and
trains, even though nobody would let me get off at Croy. I don't have any bitterness about that, Rick McCollum, at all. So,
but the but we it was back to back to back to back investigation. I wish I wasn't had been so tired.
Bankfoot.
Bankfoot, I would
Yeah.
have loved to invest, but I was exhausted. I mean,
Well,
and that bed in that room, it just like
it
and
was a killer bed.
oh,
It was just like, oh, come here, let me hold you.
yes, let's wrap myself around you, and I let it, and I went out like a light.
You did. And what's
Uh,
unusual is that, yeah, because I get up early anyway as a rule.
mm-hmm,
And I got up and I got dressed and, I went downstairs and ate breakfast and, you
mm-hmm.
know, was like, well, and I had my phone with me. So I just went on
Took
outside
off.
and went
Uh,
around up by the stable and stuff, not knowing that Mikey had investigated.
mm-hmm,
And then got some cute pictures up there too. But then I went down and, the doors of Scotland, oh my gosh, are my fetish. Okay. I find the doors so amazing because some of them are 3 feet tall,
oh
some of
yeah,
them are 8 feet tall,
mm-hmm,
some of them are blue, black, brown, yellow, whatever.
mm-hmm,
And in this little village, which was not unlike Roslyn, there were neighborhoods over here. I'm pointing so like all of y'all can see that. Then there's a stream that goes down here into a little
mm-hmm,
village street. And
mm-hmm,
I was just like, it was the
mm-hmm,
first time that I had actually seen a village like that. It
mm-hmm.
wasn't the last, but it was the first. And it was just like, holy crap, this
Yeah,
is real. And then we went
mm-hmm,
from there to Dunkeld, which had
yeah,
that astounding bridge
yeah,
that was held up by the stone as they built it. I don't know how
mm,
they did that.
yeah.
I don't know how they did that because
It
they
was
had to be
it.
underground to do it. I mean,
Mm-hmm,
under the water. How do they do that?
yeah.
But anyway, so there was a jail under the bridge support,
Mm-hmm,
and I didn't like how that felt, so I was
mm-hmm,
done. There's a lot of angst there, and
mm-hmm.
whatever it was not
Well,
happy.
did you notice up on the bridge there were Templar
Yes.
symbols up on them? You know,
Well, because they're Masons.
yeah. I mean, it was pretty evident that
But I mean, if it were stonework like that, it was going to be Masons.
yeah,
So they would have been,
their
drive me
symbol.
crazy, it would have been their symbol because, you know, Greg, our friend Greg Stewart, is from a family of brick masons. They are all masons, and
Mm-hmm,
each mason has their mark.
mm-hmm.
So, Tom wants to know how the village people treated us. Well, the cowboy was really nice. Not sure about the cop, but yeah, I'm teasing. But everyone that we met in Scotland was nicer than I would ever have expected them to be. It
Very
didn't
kind.
matter,
Mm-hmm,
it didn't matter what town we were in. It didn't matter how small they were. It didn't matter how large they were. When we were in Roslyn, we spent um, a couple of nights at the Chapel Cross Inn.
mm-hmm,
We actually went across the street, the ladies did, and had high tea, which was something that was on my bucket list, and everybody
mm-hmm.
went with me.
Yep.
So we have pictures with our pinkies out drinking our tea. So it was fun.
I
But
was
there
drinking
wasn't,
coffee.
but there was not one person, Tom, the whole time we were there, that was not kind to
Yeah.
us, whether they knew who we were, whether they were
Yeah.
fellow shoppers, whether they were, I mean, anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was ugly. I
Mm-mm.
Everybody should have that experience. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like the people here
Yeah.
can be. We
Yeah.
tend to not be as kind as we should be.
And we
And
tell them that we are not like normal Americans. We do appreciate, the hospitality and the
yes,
kindness. We do. We so appreciate it.
I don't know that we're not normal Americans. I mean, we're pretty mainstream people,
Oh yeah.
except for our hobbies. And I think that the Scots are just a damn fine group of people. I
Mm-hmm.
really do.
They
Whether
really are.
you're in Edinburgh or, you know, whether
Perth.
you're in small, oh, Perth was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Then Inverness or
Mm-hmm.
Inverness. Um, I mean, there was not, we didn't have one negative experience as far
Yeah.
as someone's personality,
Mm-mm.
somebody having a bad day and taking it out on the world, somebody just being a horse's petite because that's what they were. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Well, St.
even the
Andrews
kids around
got
St.
to
Andrew,
go.
yeah.
Well, we got to go to that open air market thing
Hmm.
they were having.
It was a
Man,
festival
yeah, it was a festival,
with
and
llamas.
you found that pen.
Oh my gosh, I do love my pen.
Mm-hmm. That wooden, wasn't it wooden?
It was wooden. It is
Mm-hmm.
wooden. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's in my other bag right now. But it was so amazing because we stayed in the dorms in St.
I
Andrews. We were
know.
in college
That
dorms.
was so fun.
And looking out our window, we were looking at the beach from Chariots of Fire with
Mm-hmm.
the sunsets and the sunrise because the sun doesn't really set there.
Yeah.
But it was so freaking beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And the the spirits of the people matched the beauty of the country. They really do because
Mm-hmm.
if one of our friends fell the first time we were there, he
Mm-hmm.
never had a chance to hit the ground before the other people were up helping him up. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it is something that really and truly I would live there.
Oh yeah.
I
It
would
would
live
be.
there in a New York minute.
Mm-hmm. Because they're very, very kind. They're
They're
very
very
kind.
kind, they're very supportive of each
Yeah.
other. If somebody has a problem, then the community seems to come together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when we were in Roslyn, we did not know that nobody opens on Sunday night, and we did not have food. So we went for a walk trying to find a restaurant because the
Mm-hmm.
little shop was closed.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
like their Tesco's there, you can
Mm-hmm.
get a meal for $3, a
Mm-hmm.
sandwich, a side, a beverage, and I think you can get a dessert too. Or maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
just the three items.
Just the three items. It's their
But
stuff
three
they have.
bucks,
Mm-hmm.
$2 or $3.
Yeah.
And
Sainsbury, all
yeah,
those places. Mm-hmm.
and it's the national meal plan. You can do it at
Mm-hmm.
the airport too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we did.
Mm-hmm.
So
Ham
it's
and
really
cheese, chips, and water
beverage.
or a beverage of something.
Hmm.
You know, it was always good,
Yeah. So
always tasty. And the bread is so much different there than it is
I could
here.
eat the bread there.
Yeah.
They do not allow Monsanto.
Yeah.
The UK and the EU do not allow Monsanto in their fields. So only we get to kill ourselves with that. Thank you very much, US government.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they
but
outlawed that. Yeah.
that's what's so funny because the first time I went to Scotland, I flew through Amsterdam and got on my flight from Amsterdam to Edinburgh. And it was so crazy because they have a national sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
The the Dutch do, and the stewardess was insisting on giving me one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Well, I'm sorry, I don't do bread." She was like, "You can eat my bread. We don't allow Monsanto. You can eat our bread." And she gave it to me, and I'm like, "Well, I'm not eating it on the plane." I'll try it when I'm near,
when I'm out of
cities.
here. Yeah.
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 Well, she was not lying.
Wow.
So if you don't think your government's poisoning you, trust me when I say they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can eat anything in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot eat sandwich bread, regular
Oh,
sandwich bread here.
the the butteries that Greg brought me
Mm-hmm.
were to die for. Oh my!
Yeah, I
He kept.
noticed I didn't get but one bite of mine.
Oh,
So that's
I,
okay.
I sucked them down. I didn't care. They were so
The woman can knock back some bread. I
no.
am not kidding. I
Oh
was
my
putting
God.
together a charcuterie board and I turned around and she had eaten my French loaf.
Give me
So
a
we
rest.
had to get more bread.
They
But
were
it was
good.
but because it's that good and
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to make you sick. It's not going to
Mm-mm.
upset your stomach. It doesn't
Mm-mm.
do any of the
Doesn't
things.
bloat you up,
Nothing.
and it goes.
There's
The
none of
whole
the
thing.
things that I have problems with that I thought were just gluten. Um, it's it's our pesticides in our food. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. There's that.
We're the only people that allow Monsanto in our fields
Mm-hmm.
for the edible things. But
Yep.
anyway, there's my political statement for the day. Sorry, guys.
But the food is excellent over there. The steak is amazing because we had steak. Well, I had steak 2 nights in a row
Hmm.
because I wanted to try their steak. Their hamburgers are, oh,
Everything is good.
oh my gosh! I when
Except the
I want a
haggis.
hamburger, it
Don't
was
do the
like,
haggis.
oh no, no, nope,
It's grainy. It's
yeah,
not what you think it is.
no.
And I didn't even try the blood. I didn't even try the blood pudding.
Oh,
So
there's no flavor. That has no flavor.
I
I tried.
wasn't finding out.
Yeah.
I was good.
Hmm.
Didn't need it.
Well, we tried at high tea. They brought us those little haggis balls things.
Which they weren't dry enough to start with. They rolled them in oats
Yes.
just to dry them
So
out more.
yeah, and I did take a nibble. Julie took one for the team, but we had to give her all of our dipping sauce so she could eat it. But I did taste it. I
I
did
tasted
taste
it.
it. I
I did
tasted
taste
it.
it.
Yeah, but Julie ate the rest of
Oh, the
it.
Mars bars.
Oh,
Yes. Yes. But I'm going to tell you that I'm partial to the Magnum bars, the
oh
ice cream
yeah.
bars.
Hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hmm.
That was my
Ice cream
thing.
bars are excellent. I love the Magnum bar ice cream bars. I don't care what flavor. I like them all. So,
I actually, Tom, do you have any more questions? Because we'll answer them.
oh yeah,
We both have had uh, great experiences. We've
oh yeah,
had a chance to really roam the country. Um, we
we
have
did
not gotten to the West Coast very far,
right.
but we will.
Hmm.
And I think probably that paranormal activity is so wild. I will tell you that Scottish Paranormal does have an actual office,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's really nice. In fact, when they came on with me, when they all stayed up overnight just to come and do the show live, they all met in the office, and it was so nice. We actually got to go and visit it,
Yes,
and
pretty cool.
it was pretty cool. And Gregor gave me two pendulums because I was like, well, I'm going to get one of these because they were for sale, you
Yeah.
know. And he was like, well, which one do you like? And I was like, well, I'm always partial to amethyst, but this other one feels like it's calling me.
Hmm.
And he was like, well, just take both of them. And I'm like, well, okay. So I'm pulling my wallet out, and he was like, no, no, just take both of them. And we had a bit of discussion about that. I took them because he was going to never let me leave their office if I didn't. Second
Yeah.
thought, I did love that little town. But it was really a very, I mean, they work for me. That's why I didn't know which one to go with.
Hmm.
And so I thought that was very,
They'll
very
usually
nice.
vibrate. They usually vibrate. You can usually tell if they're
Yeah,
meant for.
I touched the chain and they were mine.
Mm-hmm.
I knew they were coming with me. I just expected to pay for them. So I didn't doubt that they were mine.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't.
Yeah, but
So,
it's like I said, it's I can't. Scotland is just it's as Rick says, it's magical, and it is.
well, we're going to find out about Ireland next year.
Yeah, I know.
I'm very
No,
excited.
yeah.
My husband is like, we're just going to have to see what the U.S. is like then. I was like, it won't be any worse than here.
Well,
We're
and
going
also,
to Ireland.
if anybody is interested in going with us
Secret
for
Ireland Tours
yeah,
LLC.com. I
yeah,
guess I could put that here.
yeah, you can, and it's September 1st through the 9th is when we're going. If anybody wants to, because I know I'm pretty sure that it's not sold out. I think they still got openings. And it's just a $300 deposit to hold your spot, and you can make payments, or you can wait and pay the whole thing at the same time. You know, she can
I
May
hope I
set it up.
spelled that right.
May can do payments and stuff.
And her name is May, M-A-I,
Mm-hmm.
Herndon, Herndon.
Mm-hmm.
The business is, and you can find her on Facebook. You can find the business on Facebook. It's Secret Ireland Tours
Mm-hmm.
LLC.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I am going to tell you that when I was publicizing those tours that we went on
The
two
first
years
time.
ago,
Mm-hmm.
it was the tour from hell.
Yeah.
Um, May had started out as one of the people doing that,
Mm-hmm.
and she pulled out of that business,
Mm-hmm.
and we got what we got.
Yeah.
And we were standing at a castle in Ireland, and nobody had heard of us, knew we were coming, didn't know anything about us. And the person that whose business it was like blaming left, right until Sunday on her assistant, which she did not have.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called May and I said, "This is happening. What should we do?" And she said, "Well, I don't have anything to do with that, but you should be able to get tickets."
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
since we had
it's
already
Sterling.
paid for our tickets, you know, it was just
Mm-hmm.
one of those moments in time, but it wound up being okay because um, the universe works for people that don't do wrong.
Right.
So, anyway, it was pretty great. And I was so excited to be there that I just kind of let that slide. Our whole
Mm-hmm.
trip was kind of like that.
We had to.
We had to. We actually, together, we got put out in a hotel where nobody knew where we were or anything because we got dropped on the side of the road. Yes, indeed, in a hotel
Kicked
with
off
bed
the.
bugs. And I had a come apart cat fit, so we wound up leaving there. Lori's trying to flee the city. I'm like, we're in a foreign country. We can't just run down the road. We're going to get help. So it was fun because
We can laugh
literally
about it now. It wasn't
we
funny.
can. Well, it was kind of funny because, oh my God, what are we going to do? We're going to flee the city. That's what we're going to do. No, we're not.
I was going to call a cab.
She
I was
was
getting the hell out of there.
calling a cab, and the British Open had just finished where we were. It was funny.
Oh
Funny
yeah,
now.
yeah. It's funny now. It wasn't at the time, but we survived. We got
We
through it.
did.
Well, just like Amsterdam, we got stuck in there for 18 hours. We survived that.
I watched the little man paint the clock for 4 hours while you slept.
Oh my goodness.
I was just afraid to leave our luggage with both of us asleep. I didn't feel
Yeah.
comfortable with that.
Well, I mean, look how long it took us to finally find a place that we could plug our phone in, and it was like sitting at a restaurant table,
A high
and
top.
all you could do is put your head down on the table to cat nap is all you could do. You couldn't
As it
you
were.
couldn't actually fall asleep. You know.
Oh,
So,
baby girl, you fell asleep.
did I?
You did.
Uh,
I had your back. I had
okay.
your six. I had you. You were good. Well, because I really am weird about that.
Hmm.
I can't sleep when I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And I didn't want my stuff to disappear.
Yeah. But I'm just glad we finally found a place that we could plug in because you were losing phone. I was losing phone charge. It was like, oh
Yes.
God, what are we going to do? You know, because we didn't have the European, because there were
They were
European
in the
charge
suitcase. Oh,
everywhere.
yeah.
But,
We had to
but
have
we
the
finally found,
USB.
yeah, we finally
And
found
our
the Euro.
Euro chargers were in the luggage
Yeah.
that was checked. That we didn't have
Yeah.
any idea where it was.
Hmm. And then, you know, in the morning, your flight took off for Paris and mine
Paris.
took off for Detroit.
Detroit.
Hmm. And I was still aggravated when the seat next to me was open and they
Oh, I
told
was
me
so
that.
pissed when you told me.
I
I
couldn't believe.
was livid.
I kind of
Yeah.
looked and I thought she could have flown home. She could have flown into Detroit and got checked.
I've been to
And
Detroit. I don't have a problem with Detroit.
yeah,
They would have gotten, if I could have just gotten stateside, I would have felt better.
yeah.
Because because of the Olympics going there,
Mm-hmm.
I had a choice of going through to Gaul on my way. I could have booked that, and
Mm-hmm.
I opted for Amsterdam because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to go through Charles de Gaulle.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I mean, the universe was watching out. It was hilarious because there were a group of golfing guys that were, doing the same thing I was, but they
Mm-hmm.
had been through Paris before, and they were like, "You just stay with us. We're on the same flight. We'll all get there together." And so I'm like, "Okay, I'll follow
Yeah.
you."
Yeah.
And so I got to my gate, and I was just like, "They're not here yet." And I know it was getting close because when I got to my gate, they said, "Miss Hobson?" I said, "Yes." They said, "We're glad you made it. Come on." I was like, "I'm on. Yes." And that's what I sent David a text. I said, "I'm on the plane."
I just, when the jumbo jet pulled up, I went, my ride is here. My
my
chariot is
my
here.
chariot awaits.
I got right to my seat and I sat down. I was in the center. I had an aisle and there was the center seat and then there was a guy sitting on the other end. And I said, I thought this was a full flight. He said, no, it's not a full flight. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay. And I couldn't get a hold of you because you were
I was
already
already in
gone.
Paris.
Yeah, you were because your flight was an hour earlier than
Yeah.
mine. And then all I did was put my neck brace on, laid my head back, and went to sleep with listening to a movie.
Yeah.
And then they feed you, you know.
I did get French food.
Did you?
The food was good.
I don't even remember what I got. I don't know. I just ate it. I didn't care. I just ate it.
Yeah.
But I've never flown into Detroit. Never been
Oh,
in there.
really?
Had no clue. And I get there, and the guy looks at me because I was standing in because I got global entry. And there's all these businessmen standing there with their suits and everything on. And here I am in my stretchies. And the guard comes walking by and gets real snarky with me. He goes, "Are you sure you have global entry?" I said, "Do you want to see my card?" He goes, "Okay."
What
So
a
just want to
schmuck.
make sure. I thought, I have global entry.
Just
I've got,
because I look like this, I have been up for 48 hours. Do you really want to try this with a redheaded
I
American?
don't push me. Don't push me right now.
Yeah.
And then the kicker was I had an hour to get from the international side, luggage and all, to go over to the domestic side, get that, get the luggage pushed in, and then run to the gate try to find that because it did have pre TSA approved,
Hmm.
so I could go through the line faster, but it was not marked. I had no idea where the hell I was at.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was, and my luggage was the last to get off. So it took 20 minutes
Well,
to
then
get,
it didn't get then it didn't get home.
yeah, and the little luggage got home, but the big luggage didn't. So by the time I got, I mean, I literally was running down the aisle because it said the thing was going to close at 12:15,
Yeah.
and I saw my gate. I got there at 10 after 12. I mean, I literally was running down through there, and everybody was standing there. Nobody was on board. I went, so I asked the gate lady.
Pure and normal, stepping in.
I said, please tell me we're not loading yet. She goes, no, we're running behind. I said, do you care if I go to the restroom? She goes, no. I said, boom, because I I had
Yeah.
to, you know,
Well,
and I kept looking, and they hadn't loaded, so I stopped at Starbucks because I was so thirsty. I
yeah.
could spit cotton, and they had already started loading by the time I got out of Starbucks, and I was the only one in there. But
Yeah.
thank
You
God
will go.
I had first class, so I had first class. She goes, I wonder where you went to. I said, you said I had time. She goes, your seat's there. I said, that's fine. I don't care. Just let me
Yeah.
get in. So,
Well, and both of us made it home, and both of our luggage made it home the next morning.
yeah,
They lost both of our bags.
yes.
So, well, I'm going to tell you that I am so glad that you came on with me because, there's so much about these trips that we haven't even touched all of the Scottish experiences. There's still so much more. So we're going to be doing this again when we have the opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
I just love it. And I love you. Thank you so much for being
I
my
love you
friend and
too.
thank you for being here to talk about this with me tonight.
Hmm.
There's
I'm
just
excited
something.
about Ireland.
I am too. I mean, I cannot even imagine the underground passage tomb that predates the pyramid. I
Hmm.
cannot wait to see what this is
And
going
they've
to
got
be like.
standing stones there too.
Yes, they
We're going to get
do.
to see. It's,
Yes. I'm just so like giddy almost. You
hmm.
know, we're
Hmm.
going to a famine workhouse
Yeah.
during the potato famine. I mean, oh
Hmm.
my gosh, there's so much that we're going to experience
Oh, yeah.
and so much
To see.
to see, and the paranormal side of this is going to be
Hmm.
like Scotland. It's going to be so overwhelming, I think, and it won't be like spending 3 weeks going on your own with people that know
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
But May's pretty good.
I was gonna
I'm
say
really excited.
she's very knowledgeable.
Yes. And
She's
she's
very
very
good.
intelligent. She's a
Oh,
great
yeah.
human.
Yeah. And
So,
she's a planner. That's for sure.
yes. And she is not fly by night.
No. No.
So, so everyone listening, I hope that you enjoyed hearing about our paranormal experiences because that's why we do what we do, right? We
Yeah.
get a chance to interact with things that we're not really entirely sure about,
Mm-hmm.
but we know they're smart
Mm-hmm.
and we know that they have stuff that they want to say. So,
Yes.
more about our paranormal adventures later. And y'all just have a fantastic week. Be blessed, and we will see you same cat time, same cat channel. Good night. Good night, Tom.
Good night.